So if you have a 9 to 5 job and a side hustle, juggling both is so hard to say the least. So if you're tired of setting goals for your side hustle that do not stick, don't worry. In this video, we're going to talk about how to set smart goals, specifically for people who have a side hustle and a 9 to 5 job, in such a way that is going to make things so easy for you and less overwhelming. So SMART goals are goals that have clear action steps on how you can actually achieve those goals. However, non-SMART goals are goals that are very vague. They lack clarity and they lack a clear metrics on how you can actually track your progress. So yes, a lot of people talk about setting SMART goals and how it's amazing to set SMART goals, and it is true. So how do you actually set SMART goals for your side hustle if you have a 9 to 5 job and a side hustle that you're trying to run or you're trying to start? So now let's get into the step-by-step guide on how to set SMART goals for your side hustle, even if you have a 9 to 5 full-time job. The number one thing you want to do is really understand how much time you have. And in order to do this, you actually have to track your time. You have to be able to understand how much time do you have that you can dedicate towards your side hustle. So most of the time, a lot of people are not realistic about the time that they actually have, the extra time they have to give towards the side hustle, right? So we estimate how much time we have, and you set all of these goals that are not achievable because you did not put into consideration all of the things that you have to do, all the things that you do outside of your 9 to 5 job, even outside of your side hustle. So it is very important that you understand, you take some time to understand how much time you actually have every day, every week to dedicate towards your side hustle. For example, if you work from 9 to 5, obviously from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, you are booked, right? You do not have any time between this period to dedicate towards your side hustle. So you want to block out that time on your calendar so you know that this time is dedicated towards my full-time job and definitely not towards my side hustle. Now, there are people who have a calendar for their full-time job and a calendar for their personal lives, which you can do, but you can also have just one calendar, and you know that between 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, that time is already blocked because you're dedicating that time to your full-time job. Now, once you have understood the time that you have, which will most likely be during the weekends or in the evenings at about 5 o'clock, or between 5 o'clock to 9, or 5 o'clock to 10, or 5 o'clock to 11, however your life is. We all have different responsibilities, right? And different things that we need to do maybe after work. So you need to understand what it is that you do between the time that you leave work and the time that you go to sleep. When do you go to sleep, right? All of that you need to consider before you are setting goals for your side hustle. So you want to make sure that you have put into consideration every single thing that you do after you work till the time you go to sleep before you're actually setting up time to dedicate towards your side hustle. You don't want to assume that you have all of this time, meanwhile you really do not. So if the time that you have to dedicate towards your side hustle is only during the weekends, then that is amazing. Now you know that you have just the weekends, and you have to be specific. What times during the weekends do you have to dedicate towards your side hustle? You have to be specific, and you have to block out that time on your calendar. Make sure you block it out on your calendar. So at the back of your mind, you know that from this specific time, maybe from 12 noon to 5, or from 1 o'clock to 6, whatever that might be, you already have it at the back of your mind that between this time, this is when I have to dedicate towards my side hustle. Now, based on the time that you know that you have, then you are going to prioritize, right, for your side hustle. What do you want to achieve for your side hustle? Let's say for the year, right? This is a new year. What do you want to achieve? What is the number one thing that you want to achieve? And it is very important for you to prioritize. Make sure that whatever is your goal is the most important thing for your side hustle at this moment. So there are two ways that I always advise people on how to prioritize whatever it is that they want to do, right? On how to really prioritize their goals. There are two strategies that you can use. One is the one thing strategy, which is what I always use. It is my best strategy on how to prioritize, and also the Eisenhower strategy. I equally use that in order to understand what my one thing is. So the Eisenhower strategy is basically you dividing your goals into four separate parts: what is urgent and important, what is urgent and not important, what is not urgent and important, and what is not urgent and not important, right? So you can use this strategy in order to figure out what is the priority, or what are your priorities, what is the most important thing for you to do right now for your side hustle. So you have to know that not everything is important. You might want to do a lot. For example, you might want to start a podcast, you might want to start a YouTube channel, you might want to create a website for yourself or for your business, for your side hustle. You might want to learn or gain more skills in order to be better at the side hustle, this creative side hustle that you want to start, right? So you have to prioritize what is the most important thing for you right now. So the one thing strategy is from the book called The One Thing by Gary Keller, and I have a video on how I use that strategy. I go deeper into how I use that strategy, and you can watch that video after this. So that one, basically what it is you focusing on one thing at a time. What is the one thing that you can do, which if you do that thing is going to make every other thing easier or irrelevant. So that is a strategy that I use in addition to the Eisenhower strategy in order to prioritize tasks, or to prioritize what is important for whether it's my side hustle or for whatever goals that I want to achieve. It is extremely important that you focus on what is most important. You prioritize. So you are doing the minimum in order to get the maximum results. So make sure that you are not overcommitting. And the way you do not overcommit is by understanding how much time you actually have to dedicate towards your side hustle, which is the very first thing that we talked about. The third thing that you want to do in order to create smart goals for your business is creating a system. Now, you can create goals however you want, but if you do not actually have a system on how to achieve those goals, it's pretty much moot. What you want to do is you want to break down your goals into actionable steps. And that is why it is called a SMART goal. If you're not able to actually break down those goals into actionable steps where you can measure your progress, then these goals are not SMART goals. So make sure that you break down these goals into actionable steps and add that to your calendar. So what are the things that you're going to do every single day? What are the things that you're going to do every single week or every month in order to achieve this goal? So there are specific actionable steps that you need to take in order to achieve your goals. Once you break your big goal into smaller actionable steps, then you're able to see how much progress you are making towards achieving your goals. Now, block out time on your calendar to focus, block out time for deep work. Now, deep work is basically time that you dedicate for concentrated work. If you have a 9 to 5 job and you have a side hustle, you 100% want to have some time, a block of time that you have dedicated towards your side hustle. Again, if you have a full-time job where you work Mondays to Fridays, most likely that's going to be in the evenings or during the weekend. So you want to block out that time. Make sure that you block it out. I talked about this earlier, but block out that time on your calendar and assign tasks that you are going to do during that time on your calendar, right? You want to make sure that these actionable steps that you have broken down your goals to, you actually have that on your calendar on which are the things that you're going to focus on during your deep work time. And you want to create a routine, right? This is part of your system. Your system is you breaking down your goals into actionable steps. Your system is you creating a routine. You want to create a routine for yourself, and not just for your side hustle, but you want to create a routine for your life, right? Where you understand that at this time, this is what I'm doing. Maybe I wake up, I work out, I get ready for work. When I come back, maybe whatever it is, like depending on your life, right? You want to create a routine. Now, Your routine might change depending on the your goals. Your routine might change depending on things that actually happen in your life, because stuff happens, right? So your routines might change, and it is okay for you to change with the changes that come, but you have to be adaptable, right? So as you create your goals, as you create your actionable steps, make sure that you create a routine for yourself where you understand what actions you're taking, what are the things that you have to do at each specific time. And once you do that, at some point it just becomes second nature. You do not have to overthink to do certain things, and you're able to beat procrastination once you create routines. So ensure that you are creating routines for yourself. You're creating routines around your goals, around the actions that you take every single day in order to achieve your goals, whatever that might be. So creating SMART goals is not complicated at all, right? It is pretty self-explanatory, which is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Yeah, you got it. And it's basically just you um having action steps towards achieving your goals, right? You can't just set a goal. If you just set a vague goal, that is a non-smart goal. But you want to set a goal which comes with actions towards you achieving those goals. If you just say, oh, I want to do this, oh, I want to start a business, or I want to learn piano, right? That is just a vague goal. There is no clarity around that. There are no action steps towards in order for you to achieve that. But if you actually have action steps towards achieving those goals, and they are time bound, and you can track your progress, then those are SMART goals. So if you have a 9 to 5 job and you have a side hustle, you want to make sure that you use these 3 steps in order to create your own SMART goals. Understand time that you have, understand the time realistically that you have to dedicate towards your side hustle. Make sure that you prioritize. Prioritizing is going to save you so much time, so much effort. You prioritize, and you prioritize using the Eisenhower method or the one thing method. And lastly, you want to create a system, and creating that system revolves around you breaking your goals into actionable steps, blocking time on your calendar in order to dedicate towards deep work for your side hustle, and creating a routine to make sure that you are actually easily taking those action steps to achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. And before you go, please share your own SMART goal for this year in the comment section. And please do not forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and I will see you in the next one.